Hi everybody, I'm back with the next section of the skin I'm in. Previously, we've been talking about during the rising action, the reader should be watching the conflict in the way that it's changing and also what is causing it to change and how that will affect our character Malika. We're going to continue to do that. I want you to keep watching the way the conflict is changing, what people are affecting Malika and her conflict, what circumstances are affecting Malika and her conflict. But now I also want to add an additional challenge to you. This week, I'm challenging you to question how Malika herself is changing in response to her conflict. We know that just like real people, when we have a problem, it changes us sometimes. So this conflict will continue to evolve and escalate, but also Malika's character will evolve and change in response to her conflict. So throughout chapters 10 through 12, my key question to you is, how is Malika changing in response to her conflict? So let's dive in and find out. Chapter 10. We need a new alarm clock. Ours rings whenever it wants. 2 in the morning, 10 at night, it doesn't matter. It don't matter. But you can be sure of one thing. It ain't never gonna ring when it's supposed to. When Mama comes in my room telling me I'm gonna be late if I don't get a move on, I ain't surprised. It's the third time this week I'm late because of that clock. So I just ignore Mama, pull my quilt up over my head and turn over. Mama does what she always does. She pulls the covers off and threatens to yank down the sheet. I'm up. I sit on the edge of my bed, hands folded, head drooping. My eyes are still closed when Mama goes back downstairs to cook breakfast. I wash up, then look through my closet for some jeans or something. I push my way past the new shirt Mama made and hope she don't ask me about it. I don't want to hurt her feelings, but one shoulder is higher than the other one. She fixed it 3 times already, but it just ain't working. I don't want to tell her that though. Sweet asks me all the time why I don't just tell Mama I don't want to wear her stuff. But I can't. Mama needs to keep sewing. If she don't, I ain't sure what's going to happen to her. When I finally get to the kitchen table, the oatmeal's cold and slick like silly putty. I eat dry toast instead. Mama gives me a once-over. She comes and straightens up my turtleneck collar. She made this one too, but the woman across the street helped her with it, so it ain't so bad. Mama is dressed in a blue uniform. Today, she got herself some different kind of tea. It smells more like chicken noodle soup to me. She's stirring it, but not drinking it. I kiss her quick on the side of her head. She don't even notice. She's eyeing the newspaper like she does every morning. 2 newspapers are spread wide open on the kitchen table. Every once in a while, pages slide onto the floor or get greasy from some eggs or bacon Mama eats while she's reading. Mama always got to know what's happening in the stock market. She sews my clothes to save money so that she can play the stocks. She thinks we'll be rich one day, but she never invests any money. By the time she gets a few $100s saved up here and there, the pipes start leaking or the roof needs fixing, or Mama gets one of her dreams where some dead relative comes back and tells her to play the lottery and put all her money on some numbers they told her about, like 557 or 810 or 119. It never fails. Mama loses all the money, every dime. But that's the kind of luck we have. Dumb, dead relatives who go out of their way to interrupt your good night's sleep to give you a lucky number that only brings you bad luck. Now, who needs that? Mama never gives up, though. She's always looking for new ways to make money. She sold Tupperware, magazines, and pretty junk for kitchen walls. We're still poor as dirt. A lot of folks think Mama don't have all her marbles. I can tell by the way they talk to her. Kind of loud, like folks do with crazy people, with a smirk on their face, like they know a secret she don't. But the joke's on them. Mama's the smartest person in the world. She's a math whiz and can add numbers faster than anybody I know. Sometimes she embarrasses me. She's the type of woman who will put down her groceries and jump rope with 8-year-old kids on the street. She will play stickball with the boys in the neighborhood and argue with the winos on the corner over who's gonna win the next election. Sometimes my friends laugh at Mama, but when I start to complain, sweets in them tell me to shut up. They know, like I do, ain't no one in the neighborhood got a bigger heart than my Mama. I blow a kiss to Mama and rush past her and head for school. She says in the only French she knows, "Je t'aime, ma petite." I love you, my little one. Then she goes back to her stocks. I hear her mumbling something about General Electric stock falling 20 points. I have no idea what that means. Ain't sure Mama does neither. All right, so that's actually the end of chapter 10. And if you're like me, it seems somewhat misplaced because I was wondering what Char did after school when she stormed out of the bathroom. But nonetheless, we find her the next day. She's at home waking up for school, and she's giving us this long narration about her mom. So we are still in the rising action, which means we're still watching the escalation of her conflict, which is that she has low self-esteem and people often tease her. And you might be wondering, well, what did we learn in this chapter about this? Because it is a little bit buried, but I'm going to show you. So our key question right now is, how is Malika changing in response to her conflict? If you think all the way back to the beginning of the book, she's pretty upset at her mom for sewing all her clothes. She says multiple times she wishes her mom would just go buy her some clothes. And now we find out that instead of doing that, Mom is playing the stock market and the lottery, but Malika's not mad. Okay, so yes, her mom is still contributing to her conflict, but we're seeing Malika's response change quite a bit in that she recognizes her mother's own problem. Her mom started sewing after her father's death, and she says Momma needs to sew. It's good for her. And she empathizes with her mom. She talks a lot about all the crazy things her mom does, but at the end of it, she knows her mom has a really big heart and that her mom loves her. So we're seeing Malika begin to consider multiple perspectives. And I just want to challenge you to even think back a little bit further to what might be causing this change in Malika, and especially thinking back to the mirror that she discovered from her father. She got her hair cut. A lot of little things are happening. So we're going to continue to watch how Malika changes in response to her conflict here in the rising action, and wondering what will this ultimate change be, and that will be called the climax, but we're still a little bit ways out from that because most of the novel or short story in a literary text, most of it is rising action. I hope that you're enjoying it. If you head over to Google Classrooms, you do have an assignment for chapters 10 through 12. You're probably not prepared to start it just yet because you really need to understand 11 and 12 before answering your questions. This week I am asking you how Malika is changing, and I want you to provide some text evidence. In fact, I've attached a double entry journal. So make sure, especially in 11 and 12, you are following along and looking for a good quotation about how Malika is changing. And then I'm also asking you to creatively consider what Malika's journey would be like if she didn't attend McClinton Middle School, but instead attended Infinity Middle School. So just be thinking about that. Don't answer those questions just yet. Wait till you're done with the reading assignment, but I am eager to read your responses. That's all for now. I'll see you in chapter 11. Bye.